Good evening and welcome. My name is Bill Levinson, and I have the privilege of serving as the chair of AJR's Board of Trustees, a group of extraordinary and diverse women and men who share a common commitment of service to our wonderful academy. This past Shabbat, we read the Torah portion of Kitisa, whose opening lines in Exodus chapter 30 describe the way in which Moses counted the people above the age of 20. They were required to each bring a half shekel, and we are told that the rich shall not give more, and the poor shall not give less. This is a fundamental lesson in the responsibility that falls upon all of us to contribute to a greater good if we are to be counted for lives that to be ones of meaning, impact, and ultimately legacy. In the chapter that follows, God informs Moshe that he has chosen Bezalel, endowed by God with wisdom and knowledge of diverse crafts, to oversee the various aspects of the creation of the tabernacle and other ritual objects. Here we learn a different lesson about service, the quest to discover our particular gifts that enable us to be of greatest service to others in unique and distinctive ways. Our responsibility to be of service doesn't call upon all of us to be the experts in everything, nor does it imply that we are all equal in our talents. But it speaks to an imperative for us to discover and nurture those unique qualities and skills with which each of us has been endowed, and to harness those in service to our communities and to the world at large. What better message for all of us to understand that as human beings created in the image of God and endowed with our own special gifts, we are challenged daily and throughout our lives to be of service, to make a difference. This is exemplified by our honorees, whom we celebrate tonight, by our extraordinary administration and faculty, by our alumni and by our students, and by my fellow trustees. And so we turn to you, I turn to you, our guests, our supporters, our family, our friends, and ask you to discover what are your unique gifts and talents that can be of service to AJR as we continue to grow and expand.
My name is Ura Horn-Prauser, and I am CEO and Academic Dean at AJR. I am very happy to be able to join in welcoming you to our celebration of service this evening. It means so much to be able to honor our alumni. AJR today stands on the shoulders of those who came before us. We are so proud of all of you who have lived your dream for yourselves and created and nourished your dreams for the larger community. You make a difference in large and small ways, building communities and comforting individuals, reaching out to connect with others both near and far, and helping others to find their best selves. We are very grateful to you as we know that you are out there representing us every day. Looking at the lives and accomplishments of those we are honoring today helps us to see the beauty and power of AJR. These alumni have created and built synagogues and communities, created schools, served diverse communities, helped synagogues to merge and grow, served individuals in disaster areas, became central figures in their local towns and cities through chaplaincy and interfaith work, taught countless children, teens, adults, written books, and I could go on and on. In other words, they have seen the importance of each member of their community, regardless of age, gender and sexual identity, location, background, and more. They have taken the pluralistic vision and inclusive philosophy they learned at AJR, where we cherish each individual and know that we grow and deepen ourselves through these relationships, and they spread this message in their own work. They have taken the rigorous learning that they received at AJR in Bible, Talmud, liturgy, Hebrew, philosophy, and used it to pass on the treasures of our tradition. But they don't only pass on these treasures, they learn to engage with them, to be creative with them, to reach new and exciting understandings. And they have shared that creativity with their communities. They have taken the understanding of the importance of nurturing both the community and each person, which is a hallmark of our work at AJR, and they have used it to nurture and elevate those they serve. We are so proud of all of you have done, all you are continuing to do, and of the impact you have made on the Jewish world. May you all continue to go mechayo el chayo, from strength to strength.
Good evening. This is New York State Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart Cousins. I'm thrilled to join you virtually at the Academy for Jewish Religion Celebration of Service and to recognize all of the exceptional honorees. Congratulations to the B'nai Mitzvah class of 2010. Rabbi Melody Davis, Cantor Joan Finn, Rabbi Margaret Frisch Klein, Rabbi Paul Hoffman, Rabbi Erwin Huberman, Rabbi Molly Karp, Cantor Isabel Kopstein, Rabbi Enid Lader, Rabbi Moshe Rudin, Rabbi Ziona Zelazo for 13 years of service, and the Mahadrin class of 1998, Rabbi Mark Blazer, Rabbi Malka Drucker, Cantor Barbara Lieberstein, and Cantor Anna West-Ott for 25 years of service, and the Clay Zahav class, Rabbi Saul Agin, Rabbi Jerry Cutler, Rabbi Howard Hurt, and Rabbi Stephen Leon for an outstanding over 50 years of service to the Jewish community. Additionally, I'd like to acknowledge Rabbi Michael Kahn for receiving the ARC Alumnus of the Year Award, and Rabbi Stephen Leon, who's received the Marbei Shalom Community Service Award. Thank you all for your many years of service to the Jewish community and beyond. Your knowledge and guidance is an invaluable source of light and strength for all of us. Again, Mazel Tov to all the very deserving honorees. I hope you all have a wonderful evening.
To the AJR alumni and graduating students community. On behalf of myself and the AJR Student Association, we honor you. You are the reason that many of us chose AJR as our seminary, not only by speaking with us and telling us all the good things AJR has to offer, but also by example. You have paved the way for pluralistic Judaism to take root in communities across the globe, and you have taught us what it means to be productive, faithful, and honorable clergy through your activism in your own communities. You are friends, teachers, colleagues, and you continue to be active with AJR's community, whether it is attending retreats and intensives, being part of the AJR Alumni Association, or offering to be a phone call away if needed. Thank you for, well, being you, being an active member of the AJR community, and for continuing all the good works of the world.
AJR is proud and thrilled to honor the class of 2010. The B'nai Mitzvah class is comprised of diverse and talented rabbis and cantors who have engaged in a wide array of meaningful work across North America. These prolific honorees have excelled in congregational life, adult and family education, and life cycle work. With great dedication and skill, they have left significant imprints upon many by engaging in interfaith partnerships and initiatives in their broader communities. They have led important missions to Israel and Europe, have authored books, and have been a steadfast, comforting presence in their communities during both joyous and troubling times. Today, members of our B'nai Mitzvah class continue to serve the Jewish community with alacrity, devotion, and love. We are inspired by their ongoing service and congratulate these accomplished rabbis and cantors at this special milestone.
I have been serving the Jewish community of Easton, Pennsylvania for the past 12 years.
I'm retired, but I am a cantor emerita of my congregation, Cantor Sherry Tefillo Israel in South Orange, New Jersey.
So currently, I'm the rabbi at Congregation Knesset Israel in Elgin, Illinois. a fiercely independent congregation that exemplifies the pluralism that I came to relish at AJR.
I've been very blessed to be in a congregation of my first placement, and we've continued to grow together over the last 13 years.
These days, I am entirely a freelancer. I have an extensive practice of groups of students that study with me privately.
I've been working for Beth Israel, the West Temple, for the past 10 years. This will be my 11th year, and in June of next summer, I will be retiring.
I have the honor and the privilege of being the spiritual leader of Adath Shalom congregation, a synagogue in Parsippany, New Jersey.
I have many hats. I am an independent rabbi, and I'm hired to perform life cycle events of all sorts. I'm teaching, and I am also a spiritual leader of a small chavurah in Temple Beth Rishon in New Jersey.
Rabbi Melody Davis has served Congregation B'nai Shalom in Easton, Pennsylvania for 12 years and has assisted with a successful merger between Reform and conservative communities. She is deeply involved in interfaith dialogue, community building events, and loves sharing the rich diversity of Jewish life cycle experiences. Rabbi Davis has a special flair for writing, producing, and directing extravagant Purim plays, which have developed a tremendous reputation for their excellence.
I remember clearly my first day at AJR's orientation. A petite blonde woman smiled at me, put out her hand and said, "Hi, I'm Peg. If you ever need a place to stay, I'm suffering from empty nest." I lived with Rabbi Peg Kirschenbaum and her sweet husband Aaron 3 days a week for the next 7 years. Peg is one of my most cherished friends and mentors.
Cantor Joan Finn served 10 years at Temple Shaarei Tefillah Israel in South Orange, New Jersey, and is now its first Cantor Emerita. Cantor Finn's congregational work allowed her to immerse with members of all ages and stages of life. This included working with B'nai Mitzvah students and families, leading holiday and Shabbat services, life cycle work, hospital visits, and facilitating a rich music program that involved a temple band. One of her favorite specialties involved challah and hamantash and baking with a wide array of congregants.
I'm going to recount 2 things that were so meaningful for me at AJR, and that is my friendships with Rabbi Enid Latter and Cantor Lisa B. Siegel. That those 2 people made my experience so wonderful. Dressing up with Enid as Adam and Eve, and having the wonderful experience of picking out Lisa's tallis, her bright red tallis, was just a very special moment.
Rabbi Margaret Frisch Klein has served Congregation Knesset Israel in Elgin, Illinois for 10 years and is highly involved in both the broader Jewish and interfaith communities. Her rabbinate involves nurturing her congregants to find their own meaningful Jewish paths, instilling a loving commitment to lifelong learning. Rabbi Frisch Klein deeply focuses on issues of social justice. She serves as police chaplain in Elgin, serves on the ARC board, and has authored 2 books.
Perhaps the most powerful memory of bonding was outside of AJR when we were still on 86th Street. It was a cold December morning and I was sipping my cup of hot coffee from Starbucks, which was still new to me then and a treat. And we were talking about Christmas and Hanukkah and listening to Rabbi David Paskin talk about the little drummer boy and why, as a singer-songwriter, the idea of the gift of a song was so important to him.
Rabbi Erwin Huberman is proud of his Canadian heritage. He has spent the better part of the last 2 decades in Glen Cove, New York, joyously serving Congregation Tifereth Israel. Under Rabbi Huberman's leadership, the diverse congregation has grown to 360 families and includes a vibrant Hebrew school. Rabbi Huberman believes that much of the congregational growth is due to crucial values instilled at AJR. Most predominantly is the belief that all discussions L'Shem HaShamayim, in the name of heaven, are cherished.
I think the welcoming that I experienced at the first retreat, where I came from Canada, I did not have a lot of experience working with American Judaism and studying with American Jews. It's very different than what I was used to. But right away, people said, join us, please be a part of us, and take a song.
Rabbi Molly Karp is an innovative veteran Jewish educator and spiritual leader. She holds a long and wide list of credentials and 40 years of experience working in the Jewish community with strong emphasis on Jewish education. Rabbi Karp continues to provide some congregational offerings, though the majority of her current work is a robust private practice, teaching passionate adult learners in both group and individual settings.
On the day of our ordination, the women in my class went to the mikveh together. And each of us we all witnessed each other as each woman went into the mikveh. Each woman had created her own kavanah, her own intention, her own words that she wanted to say in the mikveh.
For Rabbi Enid Lader, becoming a rabbi was a dream come true. She has served the Jewish community in both Worcester and Cleveland, Ohio for many years, first as a dedicated lay leader and later as a rabbi. As congregational clergy, Rabbi Lader has been blessed to accompany people during the best and worst times in their lives. She has led them along the journey of lifelong Jewish learning and has helped to bring the joys and wisdom of Judaism to the larger Jewish community in Cleveland.
Very fondly remember, and emotionally as well, my first class in Mishnah with Rabbi Zlotowitz. He invited us to open our books to the Pirkei Avot section, and he read, Moses received the Torah from Sinai and handed it down to Joshua, and Joshua to the elders, and the elders to the prophets, and the prophets handed it down to the men of the great synagogue. And then he turned and looked at each and every one of us and said, and this Torah is now being passed down to you. It was an amazing experience. This is what set me on my AJR journey for the next 5 years.
Rabbi Moshe Rudin has proudly served 2 dynamic congregations in New Jersey since his ordination from AJR 13 years ago, Temple HaTikvah and Adat Shalom. Rabbi Rudin is gratified by community building and leads engaging programming that encompass rich Jewish learning and opportunities for deep connection. He has led missions to Israel and Europe and engages in interfaith work beyond the walls of the synagogue.
I remember walking the path, a bit of a schlep, a bit of a mountainous schlep up to the where we were studying, going up, and kind of was emblematic of the actual process of studying, which was filled with obstacles and challenges.
Rabbi Tziona Tzalazo is an independent rabbi and interfaith hospital chaplain. She is dedicated to the full spectrum of life cycle work and loves to teach. Rabbi Tzalazo served on the AJR Board of Trustees for 10 years. She is a dedicated volunteer in the American Red Cross, serving as a certified disaster spiritual care provider. Through this work, she is regularly deployed to places around the United States when natural disasters occur and brings spiritual support and counseling to survivors and rescue workers.
Just before my ordination, my ordination was coming towards the end of the Omer count. So I remember how Margaret Frisch Klein and I counted the daily Omer with our personal reflection with reference to ordination. It was very powerful, and we really got those exchanges going on a regular basis for 50 days.
Good evening. My name is Linda Schreiner-Kahn, and I have the privilege of being the president of the Association of Rabbis and Cantors. This evening, Rabbi Michael Kahn is being honored not only for the work that he has done and continues to do for his colleagues, but for who he is. Michael is someone that you can count on. He is thoughtful, honest, and direct. And more importantly, he is a good listener. In his gentle way, Michael has helped his colleagues in so many ways over the years, including aiding people with the anxiety-provoking experience, which is commonly known as contract negotiation. And should you want another perspective on how to handle a complex clergy dilemma, reach out to Michael. He will be right there for you. Michael has the capacity to see the big picture when faced with complexity, even while handling the details. There is change afoot for ARC as we go forward as an organization. Michael has been and continues to be an important part of that process by raising important questions. And what is so heartening about that is he doesn't just ask the questions, he seeks to be part of the solution. He is aiding us in formulating the questions that we will be asking of our members in the months ahead. And part of that process is working with ARC to update and simplify our bylaws. Michael is also an advocate. Yes, his background is as a lawyer, but this is a different kind of advocate. He challenges the status quo in the way that we treat those who have retired or stepped away from the pulpit rabbinate or cantorate. He knows that they need a place and that they never, ever stop being clergy. These are exciting times for ARC, and we are so grateful that Michael has stepped forward to bring our organization to a new level of excellence and service for our alumni. We're grateful that he's given ARC and its fellow alumni so much of his time, energy, and wisdom, and it is my great joy to present him with the 5783 Alumni of the Year Award.
Thank you, Linda. And thank you to the Executive Board and the members of ARC, the Association of Rabbis and Cantors. Being recognized by one's peer is an honor that I shall always cherish. On my first day at AJR, I stood among 6 new classmates and was immediately impressed by their knowledge and wisdom. I knew that AJR was different. It was not a seminary where students are molded into a fixed vision of what a rabbi or cantor should be. Rather, AJR was and remains a community, a family really, of Jewish learners and seekers, one where students and faculty work together, where my weaknesses were strengthened, my strengths enhanced, and where my personal relationship with our Creator was further refined and solidified. AJR not only welcomed me into the wonderful family that it and its alumni had created, but it opened the door for me to a profoundly satisfying rabbinate. I spent over a decade leading a wonderful and engaged congregation, B'nai Abraham, which later merged with Adith Israel, whose members I still cherish in my retirement for their support, their participation, and even their occasional helpful criticism. Over the past 2+ decades, I have watched as AJR and its alumni association increased in size, in strength, and in stature. AJR has always been a pioneer in pluralism, in sacred arts, in religion and science, just to name a few examples. And it is finally receiving public recognition for those advances. Its rabbinic and cantorial alumni have made and continue to make significant impacts in many facets of the Jewish world. My service on the AJR Board of Trustees and its work with its alumni and ARC have been a labor of love. I am grateful for this honor, but our sages caution that while we are not required to finish the task, neither are we permitted to abandon it. And so I will continue to contribute when asked. Thank you very much.
From the West Coast to the East Coast, the AJR class of 1998 has been enhancing Jewish life and practice for many in the Jewish world and beyond for the past 25 years. Their endeavors and accomplishments reverberate loudly, whether through the founding of a Hebrew charter school, establishing a place for passionate and progressive Judaism, launching an independent life cycle program, or organizing and leading others in song. These alumni have and continue to inspire us with their work, and today we proudly celebrate their accomplishments.
The most important has been for the last 24 years to serve as the rabbi for Temple Beth Ami in Santa Clarita, California. URJ affiliated congregation, and it's a congregation that has been a very important part of my life.
And now, as I'm looking at 78, I no longer have wearing my robe, but I still teach, most of it from my book, Embracing Wisdom, Soaring in the Second Half of Life.
About 15 years ago, I started my own Jewish life cycle business when my 3 children were babies, and now they're all grown up. I mostly do bar bat mitzvah tutoring, officiating at bar and bat mitzvahs, weddings, baby namings, funerals, and unveilings.
I am currently Cantor Emerita at Anshe Amos Memorial Temple in New Brunswick, New Jersey, where I served for 21 wonderful years.
Rabbi Mark Blazer serves as president of the Jewish Life Foundation, continuing the legacy of his father in bringing Jewish experiences to Jews around the world through Jewish Life Television. In addition to serving as spiritual leader of Temple Beth Ami in Santa Clarita, California, since the beginning of the 21st century, Mark also founded the Albert Einstein Academy, the first K-12 Hebrew charter school in the Western United States. He's also served as chaplain for the California Department of Corrections and continues to meet the needs of Jewish communities locally and around the world.
One of my greatest memories of AJR was actually my first time in the building. When I came to learn about AJR in person, I had only heard about it once I was in rabbinical school in California, Southern California, and I had a chance to visit. And in one afternoon, in one day at AJR, I was able to study with some of the greatest faculty from all denominations. And literally that day, Shlomo Karlbach of blessed memory was there teaching a class on Keruv, and we had some specialists on codes and on Jewish law. It was amazing the breadth of experiences that I was able to see just in one day. And of course, that experience carried over throughout my time at AJR.
Rabbi Malka Drucker is a prolific author of 22 books and the founding rabbi of Hamakom, the place for passionate and progressive Judaism. She served for several years at Temple Har Shalom, and she now resides in Santa Barbara near her family and community, where Malka is able to dedicate time to teaching spiritual aging. She's the winner of several awards, including PEN Southwest for White Fire, and she's been on PBS in The Jewish Journey America. Malka continues to cherish the sacred experience of having studied at AJR.
I went to rabbinical school because although I had already written over a dozen books, I think, I was lonely. And the most powerful memory for me about being at AJR was, it was first of all my first successful academic experience in that I enjoyed it. I thanked my teachers after each class, and I have made the best of friends from my colleagues.
After ordination, Cantor Barbara Lieberstein served Keilath Shalom, a Reconstructionist synagogue in Cold Spring Harbor, Long Island, and Temple Beth Chaverim, a Reform congregation in Mahwah, New Jersey, before launching an independent life cycle program in 2007. Barbara oversees numerous students, as well as tutors and other clergy, and officiates at around 35 B'nai Mitzvah each year. When possible, she practices yoga and engages in various forms of dance, and she's been involved in a variety of highly successful cantorial activities in the New Jersey area over the years, including performing with the New Jersey Cantors Concert Ensemble.
In 1993, when I entered HAR, and I wasn't even matriculated yet, I was offered my first high holiday pulpit in Fort Pierce, Florida. Cantor Ken Cohen, who was director of cantorial studies at the time, coached me throughout the entire summer, and I'm very grateful for him for initiating my journey into the cantorial world.
Cantor Anna West Ott spent the majority of her cantorial career at Anshe Emeth Memorial Temple in New Brunswick, New Jersey, where she formed a band and a men's chorus, directed a chapter of Hazamir, and engaged in interfaith work. As Cantor Emerita, she continues to serve as director of 2 different Jewish community choirs in New Jersey. Since her early days, music has always been a major force in her life, and Anna rejoices in the ways that the performative work of channeling her musical talents into artistic expression is a holy endeavor.
Nusach classes with Jackie Mendelson. The opportunities to be creative in Tefillah Seminar and my practicum programs.
Hello, it is such an honor to be here sharing a song of blessing with you all. Scripture can be a great teacher when it is handled with love and compassion, and we use it as a guide to live our lives. So I want to send out a mazel tov to all the ordinees and all the honorees as I share this special and original new song of blessing.
לאלוהינו, הבו גודל לאלוהינו, הבו גודל לאלוהינו, הבו גודל לאלוהינו, הבו גודל לאלוהינו. האזינו השמיים godel leEloheinu havu godel leEloheinu havu godel leEloheinu havu godel leEloheinu havu
That was really beautiful. You all could be unmuted for that. I mean, muted for that. I had to be unmuted and not singing along. What our alumni can do. And now it is an honor to present the Marbeh Shalom Award for Community Service to Rabbi Stephen Leon. Steve was ordained at AJR and right away moved into an administrative role, serving as the Dean of AJR for 12 years. During those years, he ran the show. He taught, he mentored, he supervised, he kept the lights on, and I'm willing to bet he changed light bulbs as well. He made sure that his students learned. He grew in knowledge, and he made sure they grew in knowledge and spiritual depth. He understood the service to the community and that they would appreciate the great diversity of the Jewish world. Those who studied with him or who were ordained under his direction speak of him with such affection and gratitude. They remember his teaching, his guidance, and his attention to them in so many matters. We know that we at AJR today are building on his foundation and standing on his shoulders. Steve then went on to live in El Paso, Texas, and while serving the Jewish community there, became a fierce advocate for the B'nai Anusim community, crypto-Jews whose ancestors left Judaism during the time of the Spanish Inquisition, and who are now returning to Judaism. Steve has now created the Anusim Center, that welcomes Anusim to Jewish life and teaches the Jewish community about the history of crypto-Jews. In his work, he is living the mission of AJR, cherishing others, recognizing the importance of each individual and how we each grow from learning about the other, and living a life of passion and service. In honor of this award, AJR is giving a generous donation to the Anusim Center to support his important work. Rabbi Leon has proposed that we use Tisha B'Av to truly remember the horrors of the Spanish Inquisition in our annual calendar. So I end this with that in mind, with a line from the book of Eicha that we read on Tisha B'Av, and which also concludes our Torah service. This line could be considered the credo for Rabbi Leon's life's work, a lifetime of work that included students, synagogues, Jews of all types, and those whose Judaism had been left in the past. Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva, Chadesh Yameinu kekedem. Return us to you, God, and we will return. Renew our days as in the past. It is an honor, a privilege, and a joy to present the Marbeh Shalom Award for Community Service to our teacher, our colleague, and our friend, Rabbi Stephen Leon.
Thank you so much. My life changed over 50 years ago when I was accepted as a rabbinical student at the Academy for Jewish Religion. To some extent, the Academy was just being revitalized by Dr. S. Michael Gelber of blessed memory, who was the dean, my mentor, my teacher, and my friend. I received my ordination in 1971 and then became the dean of AJR from 1974 through 1986. Many people have played an important part in my rabbinic journey. I want to thank my parents, Cantor David and Toby Leon of blessed memory, who inspired me to pursue my rabbinic dream. My beautiful wife, Sharon, has stood by my side and has played an important role in my reaching this day. My daughters, Shoshana, Rachel of blessed memory, and Rebecca, are blessings to me. My grandchildren, Daniel, Jordan, and Emmy, bring me the reality of Lador Vador from generation to generation. I also am grateful to the two congregations that I have served, the Elmwood Park Jewish Center and Congregation B'nai Zion. My new congregation, the Anusim Center, has now become the Anusim Center and Synagogue, and it allows me to continue to do outreach to crypto Jews throughout the world. In conclusion, I want to say, it has been an honor for me to be part of the Academy for Jewish Religion for so many years, and I know the Academy will continue to provide rabbinic leadership which will make this a better world. Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva. Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva. Chadesh Yameinu Hadesh Yameinu Kekedem. Hadesh Yameinu Yameinu Kekedem. Return us, O Lord, and we shall return. Renew our days as of old. Thank you so much.
This year, we inaugurate our celebration of AJR's Clay Zahav alumni, who have each served the Jewish community for over 50 years. Like the golden vessels the Israelite women donated to build the tabernacle, and the golden implements used in the ancient temple service, these illustrious alumni have dedicated themselves to a lifetime of sacred service to the Jewish community. The Torah declares the Jubilee year to be a holy occasion, and just as those who came in contact with the temple altar themselves became holy, so too we are sanctified by the presence of these holy vessels of the divine who work in our midst. We are so proud to honor our Clay Zahav alumni today, who have reached this incredible milestone.
I am in my 57th year in the active rabbinate, and I am enjoying my time in the rabbinate. I've had no regrets, and I just think it's a wonderful life.
Creative Arts Temple is something I started out here. I was in the arts, and I wanted a synagogue that would pull in celebrities and those who really don't go to temple. And I've been very successful at doing that.
I have been serving the same congregation, Brothers of Israel, Achenu B'nai Yisrael, since 1961. This is my first full-time position, and I am now retired. I was retired in 2009. And I am Rabbi Emeritus at my congregation.
I had been the rabbi of Congregation B'nai Zion in El Paso, Texas, from August 1st of 1986. About 3 years ago, I don't know the exact date, 3 or 4 years ago, I became the Rabbi Emeritus.
Rabbi Solomon Agin has strengthened Jewish identity and congregational vibrancy in multiple communities from New York and Florida to Missouri. As a pulpit rabbi for small congregations, a chaplain and spiritual caregiver, and a leader in interfaith clergy associations, Rabbi Agin has had a dynamic career over the course of his 57 years in the rabbinate. He has been dedicated to cultivating visibility and viability of communities through prayer, education for children and adults, outreach, and cultural events. He has fostered lasting relationships with congregants and built Jewish-Christian bonds to educate his colleagues about Jewish values. And today, we celebrate his impact.
A memorable time for me was my sessions, the class sessions, with Dr. Ira Eisenstein. He was just profound. It was just a delight to be in his presence.
Weaving together his dual passions for Judaism and show business, Rabbi Jerry Cutler has nurtured his unique creative arts temple as a home for experiencing the joy of Judaism through the arts. A sixth-generation rabbi and the son of Rabbi Abraham I. Cutler, one of the founders of the Academy for Higher Jewish Learning, now known as AJR, Rabbi Cutler continues a long tradition of service to the Jewish community. He excels at bringing Jews back to the fold and providing a dynamic Jewish alternative for the unaffiliated. In his sacred work, Rabbi Cutler regularly interacts with many Hollywood stars, but also calls his community to action, feeding the poor and hungry on Rosh Hashanah. And today, his work takes center stage.
One of our instructors was Rabbi Kalbach, and the senior Rabbi Kalbach, he couldn't make it one day, and Shlomo Kalbach showed up, and he didn't teach anything, but he sat at the piano and played and sang his songs, and we all joined in. It was a beautiful, beautiful hour that we spent with Shlomo, who incidentally was a dear friend of mine. And it was something I remember, everyone remembers to this day.
Rabbi Howard Hirsch began his rabbinic career over 60 years ago, serving Congregation Brothers of Israel in Trenton, New Jersey for more than 45 years before becoming Rabbi Emeritus. During his tenure, he guided his congregants through radical change in the Jewish world and helped build a vibrant home for his community. Rabbi Hirsch has received multiple advanced degrees, including additional rabbinic ordination and a Doctor of Divinity. The State of Israel and the National Board of Jewish Federation have recognized him for his accomplishments, and he is a recipient of the Golden Shofar Award by Israel Bonds, as well as several congressional resolutions and presidential commendations praising him for his work. And today, we honor him for his service.
I was a commuter from Trenton, New Jersey. I got to meet 2 or 3 of the guys. In those years, it was mostly guys, and became friends. But the most important experience was sitting with Dr. Ira Eisenstein and Dr. Mordechai Kaplan, and studying with them, and studying with Max Kedushin. And he was an amazing teacher. Dr. Eisenstein was an amazing thinker, and just talking with them, listening to them, and watching them how they treated each other and how they treated their students.
After being ordained, Rabbi Stephen Leon went on to become the dean at AJR from 1974 through 1986, while simultaneously serving as rabbi of the Elmwood Park Jewish Center in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. Subsequently, he worked as the spiritual leader of Congregation B'nai Zion in El Paso, Texas, only recently becoming Rabbi Emeritus. Rabbi Leon has dedicated his career to helping B'nai Anosim, crypto-Jews of the Southwest, return to their Jewish roots, and in 2014, he established the Anosim Center of El Paso. Numerous major news outlets have highlighted his critical work in this area, and he has been the recipient of awards from Israel Bonds, Hadassah, and the Bergen County Board of Rabbis. Today, we highlight his accomplishments.
And we had Orthodox, conservative, Reform, Reconstructionist faculty, and we had students as well that leaned to Orthodoxy and to liberal Judaism as well. It was incredible. It was the only place, honestly, where students and faculty from all of the movements came together, and we tried to take away that politics of the different movements, and instead just have one united front. So when someone was ordained, they basically applied to whatever congregation or whatever movement appealed to them.
There's so much we have to offer people. And I have found that the most effective preaching that I've ever done is when I'm staying within the realm of Judaism.
I learned early on not to get involved with politics of Democrat, Republican. From my pulpit, I once, in the very beginning, I stated something about, well, I think I was putting down Republicans, but half the congregation walked out. So that's when I decided, no more mention of Democrats, who I voted for, And since then it's worked out fine. I just didn't mention politics.
Be yourself. Being a rabbi is being a Moreh Derech, is being a Talmud Chacham, but above all, it's being you. And we all are ourselves, differently, unique, and that's what people want. They want someone they know, they can relate to, and they feel honestly free to confide in.
And if you really want to be successful, let your heart direct you. That's my advice. Whether it's in the field of chaplaincy, whether you're working in a nursing home, whether you're training other rabbis, whatever it may be.
Morim umorot hanichbadim v'hanichbadot shelanu, our dear colleagues and teachers, we bless you on this day of honoring your 13 years of giving of yourselves. The Holy One once said to Abraham, Lech lecha v'heyeh bracha, go forth and be a blessing. So too, you have been a blessing to your community and your people. And Rebecca was once blessed, Hayila alfei revava, may you grow into many thousands. So too, you have helped many to grow and learn and heal and be renewed. You have been a blessing, and you have increased blessing in the world. You have caused God's name to be remembered at many times and in many places. You have taught Torah. You have opened hearts in prayer. You have rejoiced with the joyful and comforted the bereaved, offered compassionate witness to suffering, sought justice, prayed for healing, helped children to learn and grow, helped the troubled to find peace. As you have been a blessing for others, may you receive a blessing to go from strength to strength in your work as Klei Kodesh, as vessels for holy experience. May Hamakom, the one who is in all places, bless you wherever you are, on whatever path is yours to follow. May you be supported in all the worlds, material emotional, intellectual, and spiritual, as you support others in all the worlds. Ma'aseh yadechem konena aleinu. May the work of your hands be established for all of us. May wisdom be before you, and compassion be at your right, and courage be at your left, and healing always follow behind you. Ba'al roshechem shekhinah. May the holy presence be above and below you as you continue in your sacred work. Hazak, hazak, v'nit chazek. May we strengthen each other as we go forward. And Mazal Tov. Morim umorot hanekbedim v'anekbedot shelanu. Our dear colleagues and teachers, we bless you on this day of honoring your 25 years of giving of yourselves. The Holy One once said to Moshe, Ani avir kol tuvi al panecha. I will cause all my goodness to pass before you. So you have loyally witnessed and facilitated the breadth of Jewish life and human experience. In the book of Micha, God says to the people, I have sent before you Moshe, Aharon, and Miriam. So each of you has been sent to bring your unique gifts to your people, to connect individuals and communities with God, their tradition, and one another, and to tend them in all their joys and griefs. You have caused God's name to be remembered at many times and in many places. You have taught Torah, opened hearts in prayer, rejoiced with the joyful and comforted the bereaved, offered compassionate witness to suffering, sought justice, prayed for healing, helped children to learn and grow, helped the troubled to find peace. As you have been a blessing for others, may you receive a blessing to go from strength to strength in your work as Klei Kodesh, as vessels for holy experience. May Hamakom, the one who is in all places, come to you and bless you wherever you are, on whatever path is yours to follow. May you be supported in all the worlds, material, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual, as you have supported others in all the worlds. Ma'aseh yadechem konena aleinu. May the work of your hands be established for us all. May wisdom be before you, compassion be at your right, courage be at your left, and healing always follow behind you. Ba'al roshechem shekhinah. May the holy presence be above and below you as you continue in your sacred work. May we strengthen each other as we go forward. Morim hanichbadim shelanu, our dear colleagues and teachers, we bless you on this day of honoring your 50 years of giving of yourselves. As the golden bells on the hem of the high priest's robe entered the sacred place daily, so you have entered sacred places, shared your voices, and sung your song for so many seasons. As the high priest carried the names of the Israelite tribes in a breastplate against the heart, you have carried our people against your heart. Like the Ark of the Covenant, you have brought the Torah on so many journeys. As the Holy One instructed Aaron to light the lamps of the menorah to burn constantly before the presence, you have shed your light perpetually through the years. We honor you for living a life of service. As you have been a blessing for others, may you receive a blessing to go from strength to strength in your work as Klei Kodesh, as vessels for holy experience. May Hamakom, the one who is in all places, come to you and bless you wherever you are, on whatever path is yours to follow. May you be supported in all worlds, material, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual, as you have supported others in all worlds. Ma'aseh yadechem konena aleinu. May the work of your hands continue to be established for us all. May wisdom be before you, and compassion be at your right, and courage be at your left, and healing always be before you. Ba'al Rashehem Shekhinah. May the Holy Presence be above and below you as you continue in your sacred work. Chazak, chazak v'nit chazek. May we strengthen each other as we go forward.
Thank you. First of all, thank you, Rabbi Jill Hammer, for those beautiful brachot. Thank you for all of our alumni who joined us today. It is such a joy to see you all. Some we get to see up close, some we're seeing your names, but it's very warm to see all of you today and our students who are here. We're so grateful. Thank you so much for all of you for joining us today. Thank you for supporting our students and our alumni. Thank you to all who made this event possible, including the full AJR staff, those who prepared materials, those who interviewed our alumni, those who took care of technology, those who worked on our journal, and so much more that I'm not even mentioning. There is just so much that's involved in putting together this program. Thank you to those of you who participated today, those of you who sang and spoke and celebrated. Thank you to Eitan Prauser for composing and performing the background music in our videos. We urge all of you to be in touch, to learn more about AJR, and to support our sacred work. We also hope you will join us at future events, including our upcoming launching of our Sacred Art Center, celebrating the publication of a book on studying texts through circus arts and movement. That event is on March 26th at AJR, both in person and online. This center is an arm of our growing Institute of Applied Pluralism, which will continue to spread AJR's vision and message to the larger Jewish world. Stay tuned, there's a lot more to come. And if you are interested in joining our student community, or you know someone else who is, please join us at our open house on March 27th. And our ordination will be live streamed on April 20th, which is always a very special, joyous occasion, not to be missed. It's been a beautiful evening. So glad that we could all celebrate together. Erev Tov.